Wednesday, Season 2 introduces some of the most terrifying and powerful characters we've ever seen at Nevermore Academy. From members of the Addams family unleashing shocking new abilities, to mysterious students whose gifts are as dangerous as they are unpredictable, this season pushes power to its absolute limits. In this video, we're ranking the top 10 most powerful characters in Wednesday Season 2. And trust me, the number one spot will absolutely shock you. Starting off our list is the most unlikely powerhouse, Thing. He may seem like a severed hand skittering around for comic relief, but Season 2 proves he's far more than that. Thing is resourceful, cunning, and fiercely loyal. While he doesn't have flashy supernatural powers, his utility makes him indispensable. Thing can infiltrate places no one else can, picking locks, sneaking through vents, and spying without ever being noticed. In moments of danger, he's quick to act, often saving Wednesday or her friends when they least expect it. His speed and agility make him surprisingly hard to catch, and his intelligence often outsmarts even stronger opponents. Thing proves that power isn't always about brute strength. Sometimes, it's about reliability, cunning, and the ability to change the course of events from the shadows. At number 9, we have Eugene Ottinger, the bee-loving Hummer kid who surprised everyone in Season 1 with his quiet bravery. In Season 2, Eugene's powers evolve in ways that make him far more than comic relief. Originally, he could only communicate with bees, but now his influence stretches across insects of all kinds. From swarms of flies to crawling beetles, Eugene has an army at his command. His bugs can act as spies, slipping into places unnoticed, and feeding him information no one else could get. They can swarm as a distraction, overwhelming enemies long enough for him or his friends to escape. And in battle, a wave of stingers or biting insects is enough to send even the bravest opponent running. Underestimating Eugene is a big mistake. His connection with his insects makes him unpredictable, and his courage makes him dangerous. At number 8 is Agnes DeMilly, one of the most mysterious new faces introduced in Season 2. Unlike the flashier powers at Nevermore, Agnes's gift is invisibility, but it's much more than simply vanishing from sight. She can phase in and out of view at will, slipping into the shadows like she was never there at all. This makes her a natural when it comes to stealth, surveillance, and even manipulation. Invisibility doesn't just hide her body, it hides her presence. People don't notice her even when she's standing nearby, which allows her to gather secrets, sneak into restricted areas, and catch enemies completely off guard. When she chooses to appear, it's always on her terms, giving her a huge psychological advantage. Unlike some of the other outcasts, Agnes doesn't flaunt her power. She uses it quietly, with a level of cunning that makes her even more threatening. While you're looking for the monster in front of you, Agnes could already be behind you, unseen, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. At number 7, we have Wednesday Addams, who finally gets his moment to shine in Season 2. In Season 1, Pugsley was mostly seen as Wednesday's younger brother, often overshadowed by her brilliance. But Season 2 changes everything when he reveals a shocking new ability: electrokinesis, the power to generate and control electricity. Pugsley's powers start out chaotic, just like his personality. Sparks fly at the wrong moments, lights flicker when he's nervous, and sometimes he accidentally zaps things he shouldn't. But when he focuses, his control over electricity becomes truly impressive. He can overload systems, fry locks, and unleash currents powerful enough to stop enemies in their tracks. While his abilities are still raw compared to the mastery of his uncle Fester, the raw potential of his electrokinesis ensures he belongs on this list. His electricity makes him dangerous, unpredictable, and capable of defending himself in ways no one expected. Pugsley proves that even the Addams sibling, once seen as the weakest, has the spark to make a real impact. At number 6, we have Bianca Barclay, one of Nevermore's most skilled and confident students. Bianca has always stood out thanks to her siren heritage, but Season 2 takes her abilities to a whole new level. Her siren song, once seen as manipulative or even dangerous, becomes one of the most versatile and powerful tools in the series. Bianca's voice can bend the will of others, forcing them to follow her commands or reveal their secrets. But it's not just about control. Season 2 shows how strategic she can be with her gift. She uses it not only in direct confrontations, but also to gather information, diffuse tense situations, and even protect her friends. Of course, her abilities have limits. Some characters, like Principal Barry Dord with his coral implant, prove resistant to her song. But even with those challenges, Bianca's siren powers make her one of the most formidable students at the Academy. Strength isn't just about force. Sometimes it's about influence, and in the right moment, Bianca can control an entire room with nothing more than her voice. At number 5, we have Wednesday Addams herself, the dark heart of the series. Her psychic visions were already a defining force in Season 1, but Season 2 takes them to a whole new level of intensity and danger. Wednesday's gift is psychometry, the ability to touch people or objects and glimpse the past, present, or even possible futures. In Season 2, her visions become more painful than ever, leaving her with burning black tears that streak down her face each time the power seizes her. It's as if the gift itself is trying to consume her from the inside, but true to her nature, Wednesday never flinches. Instead of retreating from her gift, she leans into it, even when it pushes her toward collapse. Season 2 shows her nearly unraveling as entire futures spiral out before her. Each vision costs her, but she refuses to let that outweigh her mission to protect those she cares about. Wednesday proves that sometimes knowledge itself is the deadliest weapon of all. Next up at number 4 is Enid Sinclair, Wednesday's vibrant and fiercely loyal roommate, whose growth in Season 2 is nothing short of extraordinary. Back in Season 1, Enid's struggle was her inability to wolf out fully. But Season 2 changes everything. Enid not only embraces her transformation, she begins to master it. When Enid shifts into her werewolf form, she becomes a force of pure power. Claws sharp enough to shred through enemies, reflexes quick enough to outmaneuver almost anyone, and raw strength that rivals even the most destructive characters in the series. But what makes Enid stand out isn't just her ferocity, it's her control. Instead of letting the wolf consume her, she learns to harness it. Her fight scenes in Season 2 prove she's more than capable of holding her own against monsters and villains alike. She fights not out of rage or ego, but out of loyalty to her friends and her school. This combination of emotional courage and supernatural strength makes her one of the most well-rounded and dangerous characters in Season 2. Enid finally steps out of her bubbly image and shows that beneath the pink sweaters lies a warrior. Taking the number 3 spot is Tyler Galpin, whose monstrous hide form makes him one of the most terrifying forces in Wednesday Season 2. While Tyler may seem like the quiet, conflicted boy on the surface, his transformation reveals the raw chaos and destruction he carries within. As a hide, Tyler becomes a towering creature with overwhelming strength, savage instincts, and near-inhuman durability. Few can match his power in direct combat. He tears through opponents with brutal efficiency, striking without hesitation, and leaving a trail of carnage behind him. Season 2 only amplifies this side of Tyler, showing us just how dangerous he is when fully unleashed. What truly sets Tyler apart isn't just his brute strength, it's his unpredictability. The hide is driven by primal rage and bloodlust, making him nearly impossible to predict or outmaneuver. He isn't just strong, he's relentless. Tyler represents the darker side of Nevermore's world, power without restraint, destruction without purpose. And that's what makes him one of the deadliest characters in the entire series. Coming in at number 2 is Uncle Fester, the Addams family's unpredictable wildcard whose presence in Season 2 electrifies literally every scene he's in. Unlike Pugsley, who is only beginning to tap into his electrical abilities, Fester has mastered the art of electrokinesis, wielding it with terrifying precision and devastating force. Fester's power is nothing short of explosive. He can channel electricity through his body at will, unleashing powerful bolts that can incapacitate or destroy in an instant. Whether he's frying security systems, blasting enemies, or simply charging himself up for fun, Fester proves that his control over voltage is both versatile and deadly. Few characters in the series can match his raw destructive output. What makes Fester even more dangerous is his chaotic personality. He's unpredictable, bouncing between comedic antics and moments of sheer terror. One second he's joking around, and the next he's unleashing enough electricity to light up all of Nevermore. But beneath the eccentricity lies a deep loyalty to his family. When Fester fights, He fights with purpose, making him not just a walking live wire, but also one of Wednesday's most powerful allies. Finally, taking the #1 spot, and this is where things may surprise you, is Morticia Addams. While much of the spotlight shines on her daughter, Season 2 quietly reminds us just how powerful and commanding Morticia truly island. She isn't simply the matriarch of the Addams family. She's the most refined and dangerous psychic in the series. Morticia's abilities mirror Wednesday's gift of psychometry, but with a mastery that only comes from years of experience. Unlike her daughter, whose visions often strike violently and unpredictably, Morticia channels her power with elegance and control. Her glimpses into the past and future aren't chaotic flashes. They're purposeful, clear, and frighteningly accurate. But Morticia's power isn't limited to visions alone. Her presence carries an almost supernatural weight. She commands attention without raising her voice, bends situations to her will with subtlety, and influences others through sheer aura and intellect. Where Wednesday's power feels like a storm, Morticia's is more like a sharpened blade, precise, deliberate, and lethal when necessary. Season 2 shows us that she is the pinnacle of what Wednesday could one day become, not just powerful, but fully in control of that power. Morticia doesn't need brute strength or flashy transformations. Her authority, wisdom, and psychic mastery make her the true powerhouse of the Addams bloodline. That's why Morticia Addams rightfully claims the #1 spot on this ranking. She proves that sometimes, the scariest power of all isn't the loudest. It's the one that moves in silence and strikes with certainty. And that's our ranking of the 10 most powerful characters in Wednesday Season 2. Did we get the top spot right? Or is there another character you think deserves the #1 spot? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more breakdowns from Nevermore Academy. See you next time!